Of course, we've done this several times. Myself and Keefe, we are 4-2. That is the record. Our goal differential is still plus. But Keefe, we're going to need a hell of a lot to happen here in the third period and a lot to go right for this team to win a Stanley Cup tonight.
Oh, man, this has just been so frustrating. I mean, the Bruins were the better team in the first period, and yet they were down 2-0. Second period, I don't think they were great, but still the Blues have 10 shots.
Yeah.
10 shots, and they're up 2-0. And it's just, man, it's so frustrating to see what's going on. I thought they needed to make it 2-1, but at the same time, if they score, what would you say, Nick? 2, 3, 5 minutes into this period. If it's 2-1, 5 minutes in, I think I'll feel okay.
Yeah. The first 5 minutes, I tweeted this out a little while ago, but the first 5 minutes of this period is the game to me. If they come out here in the first 5 minutes and they're not playing well, this game I think is over. And you look back at the 2 goals in the first period. I saw, of course, the hate Tuukka crowd is out in full force because they're down 2-0. This is not on Tuukka. The first goal is a shot from a mile away that gets a funky deflection. It's redirected. It goes through his 5-hole. For me, that's tough to blame Tuukka on that. And then the second goal is completely and utterly 100% on Brad Marchand, who, for whatever reason, with 10 seconds to go in the period.
See you later.
10 seconds left in the period.
Didn't want to
Game
finish.
7 in the Stanley Cup Final. I mean, Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, home ice, 10 seconds to play. And you can't stay on the ice for 10 seconds. Just put your body in the way of it. Just a brutal decision by Marchand, and that opens up the chance for the second goal. And again, the first 5 minutes is huge. Jeff is chatting with us here. Says, can't believe the first period. Neither can we. Bauer says Marchand's line change at the end of the first is worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Perfect representation of that line's performance. Nick tells me it's on Rask somewhat. Again, I have a tough time. I have a tough time blaming Tuukka for either of those 2 goals. And before this third period starts, let's also give credit to Jordan Binnington, who was
he's been insane,
out of his mind, especially in that first period, Keith.
Yeah, he's been outrageous. I mean, he was in the right spot all the time, and they put on a ton of pressure, and that was. Well, I think he's got 23 saves now through 2 periods, but it feels like 43. I mean, he has been this is the best we've seen him. Like we've seen a period, we've seen like half a period, we've seen stretches of him like this, but for him to go back-to-back periods like this is the best that he's played. But man, that Marchand thing, you're right. And if anything, if they're going to get back into it, I think it's going to have to be that line on top of it. Like those guys need to make up for how they played. Marchand specifically, if he can bounce back, get a goal early, I think that'll get the whole place going.
And the crowd seems like they want to get going in this game, but it's pretty tough to get going when I thought that second period, mostly what you saw was St. Louis packing it in and playing conservative, and that's what you're going to expect here in the first 5 minutes. They're not going to take many chances here. They're going to try to play conservative and just soak this clock. I mean, they're going to play smart. So it's going to be up to the Bees to create some kind of chances somehow, some way. And I think you're right. We've been talking about it for the entire playoffs. The top line has been very inconsistent, and you need at least a couple of good shifts to start off this third. And hopefully you get that from the top line when they're out there.
And I'll tell you what, I'm surprised. The Blues have definitely made some hits, but they are playing a pretty clean game. They know that they don't want to have too many, put the Bruins on the power play, and they have actually been a lot cleaner than I thought. I thought they were going to come out much more aggressive and kind of force the refs into making calls or not.
Yeah, we have Alex chatting to us saying he just hates sports. Yeah,
sports is the worst.
We hate sports right now. If the Blues score, another chat, this game's over. There's a nice little shot, but Bennington's all over it. Dan says it's really come down to the Blues being the better team 5-on-5.
They have been.
They have been in stretches, I think. Tonight, I still think Boston has outplayed them for the balance of this game. And this is why Game 7, I was asked on my show earlier today, like, hey, what do you think? Are you confident? No, I'm never confident in a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup because weird shit happens. Robbie in Vermont, he's ready on the fan line. Let's go to Robbie as he joins our misery as we just try to be optimistic and hope for a goal here in the next couple of minutes to make this thing tight again.
The misery indeed. What the hell is Marchand doing on that Pietrangelo goal? That's
no idea.
Inexcusable. Just
Yeah.
waltzing off the ice as he lets his man just diddly by him.
Yep, taking a break. He was done. He tapped out there.
This top line has been a minus all series long, and now just putting the cherry on top of up yours. This is a minus the whole way long, and I'm pissed off. It's bullshit.
Yeah, Robbie.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah, listen, and thanks for the call again. You can do what Robbie just did. Just press that black button up top, and you can join us on the fan line here on Fancred Third Period Live, Keefe and Cattles. And listen, we always say it, and it's cliche, but it's cliche because it's true. Cliches exist because they're honest assessments of things, and your best players are supposed to show up in the biggest moments. And when you have a Game 7 at home and, your top line, again, is not playing that well, I thought Pasta was an absolute disaster, especially in the first period. He couldn't settle the puck on a stick once. And, when that stuff's happening, you have very little chance to win. And that it's as simple as that. Roger chats in, says Bruins are not playing bad. They need some puck luck. Yeah, St. Louis has had all the puck luck tonight. There's no doubt about that. The first 3 minutes now of this period soaked away. And Williams says, freaking Rask, 2 goals on 11 shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're right. Like, that doesn't look good. And, like, the save percentage obviously is bad because there's no shots. But we talked about it, Nick. If you take the 2 goals as they were, the first one's kind of fluky, deflection, traffic, all that stuff. And then the second one's all on Marchand. So, like, the 2 goals, and it's going to go down on Tuukka, and it's, he's the guy that he hasn't won the cup and all that stuff. But I don't know.
I mean, that's a typical fucking – There's Rask stopping 3 shots, by the way, in the last 30 seconds, which have been huge, as I think it was Johansson who just turned that puck over in the middle of the ice. What's maddening here is, everything that we've talked about this entire postseason, when the Bruins are not playing well, and I think they're playing okay tonight, but the things that come back and haunt them, the same kind of stuff, right? The top line, handling the puck. I thought in the second period, there was a lot of sloppiness. In the first 8 minutes of that period, there were just a ton of careless giveaways. Some of the same stuff that we've seen when they have these bad stretches. It's like come on, McAvoy, finish that shit. That's got to be a trip, no? Not in Game 7. Not in Game 7. I think they missed one there. Looked like McAvoy was tripped. But, it's similar to the Celtics, Keith. I mean, you and I watch a lot of Celtics basketball. You just watch teams and when they're going to have their bad stretches. They all have these bad habits. Yeah. And we saw it with the Celtics this year, and we're seeing it with the Bruins, in this postseason. And just a couple of things, a couple of boneheaded decisions, a couple of giveaways.
Right.
And it comes back and bites you in the ass. A play like that where Torrey Krug is just kind of, slowly skating backwards and letting the puck almost come to him, and it gives up possession. Like, you've got to play with urgency in this game. In the first 5 minutes of the period, not good enough from the Bruins.
No, not good enough. And I think, Binnington, too, as we said, he's been so good. I mean, if this was Binnington from Game 3, or if this is Binnington from, last game or even Game 1, I mean, it's probably 2-2 at the very least. But he has been on top, and he's picking the best time possible to play out of his mind.
Yeah, Sam says the Bruins' puck control has been horrendous. The passing, that's another thing that has haunted this team. When they lose in the postseason, they don't shoot enough. The other night they were constantly, and again, it's cliche and all that, but they were constantly challenging Binnington. They were constantly getting shots on goal. They were constantly just, tossing puck towards the net to force the action on Binnington. And tonight, especially in that second period, I don't know about you, Keefe, but, there are a lot of opportunities to at least just get the puck off towards Binnington, and overpassing, too cute, trying to do too much. And it's maddening to watch that.
Yeah, they definitely did that. But also, I would give credit to the St. Louis defense. Like, they were getting in the way a lot.
Yeah.
It seemed like, at times they had, 3-4 defensemen is what it felt like, because they were kind of packing it in. But that's the other problem, is once they get the lead, they can afford to do that, and they don't need to try to take chances.
Yep. And, if you look at the scoring chances tonight, it's almost 3-1 Bruins.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Simply doesn't matter. And most of those chances haven't even been really good for the Blues. But
no,
you've got Bennington standing on his head in that first period, especially. I mean, he just made so many ridiculous saves in that first period. Yeah. That's just a killer. When you outplay the opposition as much as they did, and you get nothing from it. I was saying that to my wife, through the first 7-8 minutes of the first period. They're outplaying them so much, but they can't break through. And when something like that happens, you just get a bad feeling. Bad feeling.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. And this is also one of those games, too, or just like watching these two teams play for the last 6 games, you knew if the Blues got the lead, the Bruins had a chance of coming back. However, if the Bruins got a lead, if they were up 2-0 at this point, I would say the game is over. Like, I would have no faith that the Blues could come back. But Bruins still have a chance. I know it hasn't looked great here early on, and I know throughout this period, and Bennington's been locked in. But still, if any team is going to score 2 goals in 2 minutes, it'd be the Bruins.
Oh, another opportunity for DeBrusque to get the puck out of the zone. He doesn't do it.
He's been awful the whole playoffs.
Yeah, DeBrusque.
He's been their worst player.
Too much. He's trying to do too much. Yeah. Tonight he's had some chances to make the right play, and he goes barreling in and trying to do too much. A little bit of Krejci in his game. Sometimes Krejci does that shit where it's I'm going to go 1-on-3. I mean, this is just miserable. This is miserable to watch. This is miserable to be a part of. There's nothing good that is happening right now. It is just it's the as I say, the drizzling shits watching this game right now.
Well, and the Blues are bad for hockey, Nick. I'll say it. They're a team that they're not that skilled. They like to kind of goon it up at times, and I know they're not like a classically goon team, but for 2019, this is sort of a more physical kind of team, and they're more on that side, more of a dirty team than anything else. And it's just, this isn't a team that's going to go on like this great run. This isn't the Blackhawks. This isn't the Penguins. This isn't anything like that. This is sort of a one-off. They're going to be one of the worst Cup champion teams ever.
And it's one of those things where I was thinking about this earlier. When they lost to the Blackhawks, it was a different feeling, right? They lose this game and they lose this series to St. Louis. It's so much different. Right. To me, the Blackhawks, Charlie Coyle can't get the fucking puck off the stick. When they lost against Chicago, that was a talented team.
Yeah.
That was a team that played the right way. And it sucked. It always blows when your team loses a shot at a championship, no doubt. But at least when you watch that series, you could respect Chicago and you could say, well, come on. You could say, well,
Kane, Taves, those are dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, those are dudes. Those are guys that play respectful hockey. And, it's just sickening to see the St. Louis Blues beating the Bruins in a game 7 at the Garden. Ugh. With the way that they play, it's just it's awful. There's nothing redeeming to this. Unless you know somebody in St. Louis that you love, maybe you'd be able to talk yourself into it.
No,
but watching this team with the cheap shots, finishing checks high all the time, just all the stuff that they do. Berube bitching about the officiating and then coming back out there and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about the officiating." It's just That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
I mean,
this is going to go down as the Jordan Binnington game.
The guy's playing out of his fucking mind.
Yes, you could swear. Don't worry, it's not FCC regulated. You're good.
What are the rules here? No, but he's playing. I mean, he's playing. I get he hasn't been this good in the whole series. Like he had a couple. What was it? The first period last game, in the first period game 5 actually. First period game 5, he was really good. Everybody was all fired up because of Chara. The Bruins played really well, and he was just stuffing everything. But this has been ridiculous.
It's it's just got the feeling of you need a couple of freak fluky bounces or something crazy to happen, right? I mean, it's one of those nights where Binnington, there's McAvoy with a carelessness.
Well, and this works against Tuukka too, Nick. Not that I don't think he's necessarily played really bad, but the fact that on the other side, Binnington's playing out of his mind, like that's well, why can't Tuukka do that? Why didn't Tuukka make those saves? Binnington would have made those saves, so that hurts him. Yeah,
I just have I would have a very, very tough time saying anything bad about Tuukka the way
I'm with you.
The playoffs have gone and how many times he saved their ass. He hasn't played bad tonight at all. He's made some key saves in the last 2 periods, especially early on in this period. And, if he's not playing the way he's playing, they're not even in Game 7 right now. So it's difficult to lay it on that dude, all right? I can name a lot more Bruins before I get to Rask and bitch about Rask.
Marchand.
Put it that way. Yeah, to name one.
Marchand, for sure.
Nick, do we feel bad for the guy that paid $14,000 for a ticket, or do we laugh at it? Yeah, that's always the risk. I went to the Super Bowl this year, man. I paid $4,500 for the ticket.
Did you really?
And, yeah. And fortunately, obviously, the Pats won, which made me feel like it was all worth it. But I was sitting there going, man, if they lost this game, I would have been pissed.
Well, it's funny. We were giving away tickets today on the air, and I was telling whoever, what the fuck? All right, this is over.
Wow, you're way ahead of me. How are you way ahead of me?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
That's it. That'll do it. Game, set, match. St. Louis Blues, your 2019 Stanley Cup champions. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. Effort play. You've got Chara and McAvoy. What the fuck is McAvoy doing? What is McAvoy doing? What? You've got Chara back. You've got McAvoy back, and I don't know who else that was. What a crazy save by Binnington on Nordstrom. You've got.
I mean, how did that find its way through? Did that go through Chara's legs? I think it might have gone through his legs.
I don't know.
3-0.
It's happened all It's happened all series long. When they have lost games, they've been shitty in front of their own net. Shitty in front of their own net. It's happened the entire series. This team doesn't deserve to win.
No.
Right now.
No, not like this. Not like this.
I mean, the first period they played great. Ron says $4,500 is standard prices from past purchase stories I've heard. There's Pasternak getting stoned. Shocking.
Well, it's funny. So when we were giving away tickets today on the air, and Dale's like, "Oh yeah, like win tickets, you'd be like lucky fans, you go to the game or whatever." And I'm like, "Or you sell them." I'm like, "The way things are going, you grab them, you sell them." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't know. You make $10,000 on a pair of tickets. That sounds like a win to me." 3-0. God damn.
It's over. I mean, what a shitty way to go out. You go to St. Louis, Game 6, and you pretty much hand them their ass. You come back and listen. I can't kill them for how they came out. They came out and dominated the first period. You can't kill them for how they came out. Okay.
No, I mean the
Binnington was outstanding.
They're down 2-0, but I'm with you. They were the better team first 20 minutes.
And they didn't even play badly in the second period. It's
right.
one of those games. You'll look back at this game. People will look back at the final score and say, man, the Bruins were just, handed it. And no, that wasn't between. I don't think it was in his it wasn't between his legs.
Okay.
No,
I
don't know.
Tuukka's.
Oh,
I was saying of the pass. I think it went through Chara's.
Oh, I thought you were saying did that go through Tuukka?
No. It went to the left of Tuukka, but it went. I think through like the original pass went through Chara's legs, and it was like for F's sake.
Just brutal, absolutely brutal. There's no other way around it. Talk about just kicked in the nuts. A game 7 at home. Stanley Cup Final to the St. Louis Blues. These cheap shot. Oh my God.
I mean, it's you look back at some of these past Cup teams, and you're like, all right, well, who was the best player? And you're like, Ovechkin, Crosby, Crosby and Malkin, really, like Kane, like all these different guys. They're like, who's the best player on the Blues? I guess Ryan O'Reilly.
He's played that way.
Tarasenko. Who's the Conn Smythe winner right now?
Dan just chatted in and said, how about some Anthony Davis trade talk?
Yeah, no shit.
I joked around that if this thing was out of control, we might be headed that way. And I think we're headed that way. But I'll tell you, I mean, over the life of this series, how many guys consistently played well? I mean, honestly.
Over the whole series?
Yeah. How many guys played well?
I think the fourth line guys, I would say overall, like Nordstrom and –
I mean, Achari played okay.
Koolman
had the goal. Koolman had the goal.
Koolman was electric when he got a chance.
Just brutal.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst. Anthony Davis, in or out?
I'm out.
Out?
I'm out on Davis.
What if you can get him without giving up Tatum?
Oh, well, yeah. Then I'd probably do it, even though I know he's going to leave for a year. I just assume you have to give up Tatum.
Yeah, I do too. But it seems to me the way these stories are going and getting leaked, it seems to me that Danny hasn't put Tatum on the table yet. I think if Danny put Tatum on the table, the deal's done.
Well, it's funny because
I think that's who Griffin wants.
The report today with the Lakers, wasn't it? It was like, oh, they're offering Ball and the number 4 pick. And I was like, no shit. I'm like,
yeah, Ingram, Ball on the 4.
Oh, yeah, and Ingram. Yep. I'm like, oh, they're playing coy, like they're not going to offer Kuzma. Like, of course they're going to.
Yeah, they don't want to put Kuzma in the deal.
Break. That's
they don't want to put Kuzma in the deal. What?
It's like you're going to trade everybody but LeBron. The Celtics would trade anybody but Irving, and then that's just how you do it.
And there's Binnington again with another save. Yeah. So. You're telling me Kyle Kuzma is the difference between the Lakers trading for Anthony Davis or not?
Because, like, what do you think they offered at the deadline this year? All those guys. Everything but the 4 pick because they didn't have the 4 pick.
All those guys. A couple people bringing this up. Jay Front and also Ryan O'Reilly going to be the Conn Smythe winner. I would imagine so.
I think so. I think he's been. I mean, he leads the team in points, and he's been really good in this series. And I think Binnington's been too up and down. He got yanked from a game, so I wouldn't give it to Binnington. I wouldn't give it to Tarasenko. I think Ryan O'Reilly's the guy. I honestly think, I mean, the fact that it's 3-0, probably not. But had it been like 2-0, I think Tuukka still had a chance. Tuukka, I think, was such the favorite going in that he could have gotten it in a losing cause, but not at 3-0 probably.
Yeah, William chats in. He says, you guys are too soft on Rask. He was great against Carolina. Big deal. William, I'll play this game with you since we've got 5 minutes of awful hockey to watch as the season fucking ends. How many guys would you say shoot the puck? Fuck. Oh my God. that 8 seconds right there is everything in a nutshell.
Yep.
Pasta has the puck. He won't shoot.
No.
He finally shoots. It's too late. He gets a one-timer opportunity, and he whiffs on it. That is the perfect example of David Pastrnak this postseason. So I go back to William, who says we're too soft on Tuukka.
No,
we're too soft. William, tell me who's been better this postseason, okay? Tell me what Bruins have been better than Tuukka Rask. If you can name anybody.
Name one. Yeah.
I'll give you some credit. If you can give me 2 or 3 guys, it'd be a miracle. Tuukka Rask has easily been the best player for the Bruins throughout this entire postseason. If you don't think that, stop watching hockey. Just stop. Shut the game off. Stop watching hockey.
You think Pastrnak has bad eyesight?
I don't know. Did he lose an eye?
He's whiffed on a lot of one-timers in the whole playoffs. He's like,
does he actually have both his eyes? Does he actually have both his eyes? I'm wondering.
No, he may not. It might be like Carl Soderberg.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jeff chats in, says, as far as a strong series, 4th line, Coyle, Johansson. I thought they were better early than they've been late, honestly, with Coyle and Johansson. And he says Tuukka as well. Of course, Ron.
Wait for it, Nick.
Wait
for it, Nick.
Ron, oh, yeah, there it is.
For it,
yeah, 4-0. Ron weighs in and says, hockey handshakes in T-minus 5 minutes. Can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait. Bergeron, Marchand, Pastrnak. How many guys? Krejci has been non-existent. DeBrusk has been bad. Danton Heinen has given you almost nothing. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And on and on and on and on and on. Going to get on Tuukka Rask. Was that Rask's fault too?
Sure.
Was that on Rask?
Sure. Why not?
Bauer says Krug's been good. Yeah, I'll give Krug some credit.
Krug was.
Oh, show me another video of St. Louis, and I'm gonna put a fucking hole through my television, please. Oh, there they are at Busch Stadium. Great.
How dumb is
awesome.
that, by the way? Let's go to a baseball field and watch the game on the jumbo screen. What an awful existence that is. That looks miserable. Hey, let's squeeze our asses into the baseball stadium and watch it on the jumbo screen, which probably isn't even that big. And it's raining there, I think. Stupid.
Unreal.
Well,
keep giving them chances, guys. Hey, might as well lose 7-0. Might as well just pull Tuukka. Just let him keep shooting at an empty net.
Yeah, go for it.
Fucking disgusting. The only reason this game is still on my television is because I'm working for Fancred right now.
Thank you, Fancred.
And I like it. And I like Rich Keefe.
I changed the channel a while ago, Nick. I'm watching something else. So.
Seriously, this garbage. So if you could get Anthony Davis for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and 2 first-round picks, do you do it?
Yeah, at that point I would. I just wouldn't want to trade Tatum because I'm like 100% sure that Davis is going to leave in a year. And think about what a disaster Kyrie ended up being, more so off the court, but it was really because I think he wasn't sure if he wanted to leave or not. And like when these guys have no years left on their deal, there's always so much bullshit that surrounds it. And so you'd probably have to deal with that again. And I would also, this would be my guess anyway, is if they did get Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving might sign a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. And then that way he can figure out what Durant's doing the next year. And then you'd be dealing with that for both of those guys again.
I know I'll get killed. I would deal Tatum. With or without Kyrie, I'd deal Tatum. And I love Tatum.
Yeah.
But there's not many chances you get to add a top 3 player in the NBA. And when Davis is healthy, he's right up there. He's I would say top 3 to 5 when he's completely healthy. He's easily one of the best players in the league. And those guys don't become available very often. And I think a lot can happen in a year's time. I don't know, like for LA, I'll give you an example. The Lakers, they're having, all sorts of issues right now, right? Yeah. So let's say the Lakers they're desperate. They need to add somebody. They don't pull the trade off for Davis. Now they're in a spot where they've got to add somebody. If they go out and they get a max guy, if you put a max guy on that team with the same roster they have right now, they'll be only 9-10 million under the cap going into the offseason next year. So I'm not even 100% positive that the Lakers will even have enough money to sign Anthony Davis. And then they'll be in a spot where they're either going to give up a lot of guys for undervalued trades, right? And there's Bergeron whiffing. You have a lot of guys getting shuffled in and out. I just don't think that would work. So I don't know. I would like to see how Davis feels if he joins this team. The Celtics make a run, go on a deep playoff run. Meanwhile, the Lakers are staring at a 35, 36-year-old LeBron James with not much cap space left at all. A lot can change in a year, man. I mean, just 8 months ago, Kyrie was committing to the Celtics, and everybody was talking about how he was going to be there and this and that. So much can change in a year, injuries and all this other stuff. I would take the swing. I would not give up Tatum and Brown. I would not give up Tatum and the Memphis pick. And this is heartbreaking for all the people telling us that, for the 2 or 3 people that got on Tuca. To me, that sucks, seeing Tuca burying his head when he's been so great for this postseason.
But now it's just
Jeff brings up Felger.
It's another year of Tuca can't win the cup. And I don't believe that. Like, I've never been one of those people that said that. I know that he hasn't, but I don't think that he can't. But the people that say he can't, it's like, well, he still hasn't. And
yeah,
you got that.
I think I quite frankly think it's the lazy, easy go-to. And I fought that when I was with Jonesy up at 98.5. I fought that battle. I've always been a guy who thinks Tuca is better than a lot of people give him credit for, and it's always easy to blame the goalie. It will go back, and people will look at this and go, "Oh, 4-0, Game 7, Tuca didn't show up." No, go back and watch the game. Go back and watch the game. Right. See how the goals were scored. See that the Bruins continuously shooting pucks into the chest of Binnington. And then when they had great chances, Binnington standing on his head. Watch the first line shit their pants once again. Watch David Pastrnak whiff on a puck again. Yeah, watch all this stuff.
Here you go, Nick.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm so late. That's so weird. We're both watching it on NBC. It's so strange how I'm so late.
I got that Boston feed. That's what it is. We got the jump on you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, there's 5 of the Bruins. Yeah.
Go, baby.
Woo!
Let's go.
Woo! They're right back in it.
Grizzlick.
It's almost more like
Grizzlick.
I think I'd rather lose 4-0 than 4-1 because 4-1 means like you kind of tried and you still sucked.
Charles says Leonard wins in Toronto and goes to LA. We'll see.
I think he's going to the Clippers.
We'll see if he goes to LA. I mean, we don't know that. I hate saying, look at what happened with this guy and look at what happened at that guy. Kawhi's already won a championship. He's already been a Finals MVP. He wins his second championship. It's not a huge deal to him, right? Davis is a guy that's never won. So for somebody, if Davis goes to the Celtics and they make a deep playoff run, and I think if you bring Patrick Beverley onto this team, and you've got Beverley, Jaylen Brown, Hayward, Horford, and Davis, I think that's one of the best teams in the game, and I think that's one of the best teams by far in the Eastern Conference, by far. If you could put that team together, I think that's damn good. And if you make a deep run for a guy that's never made a deep run, you never know how he's going to feel.
Yeah.
So again, I'd take the risk.
I mean, Danny Ainge is definitely with you. Like Danny Ainge, 100%. Just the way he's done things for the last 16 years, whatever it is. He's definitely gonna do whatever he can to get Davis.
I think so. And you're reading stuff right now. And as I said a few minutes ago, the way it sounds to me is that the Lakers have given their offer. Griffin's not in love with it. The only way he'll fall in love with it is if somehow, some way the Lakers can add a star player with that fourth pick, which I can't imagine any team is going to trade a guy who's a borderline all-star or all-star for the fourth pick in a 3-player draft. I don't think that's going to happen. So to me, the way this thing reads is that Griffin's not in love with the deal that the Lakers have on the table unless they're able to do something with that 4 pick. And the Celtics know that. So Ainge is kind of holding back Tatum. That's the way I read everything coming out.
Yeah.
Because isn't it weird? Like it's weird that we have everybody, we've got everybody knowing the Lakers offer. Everybody's writing about the Lakers offer. There hasn't been one peep as to what the Celtics offer is.
Right.
Nobody has said what the offer is. We know all the specifics about the Lakers package. We know nothing about what the Celtics have on the table right now. And that to me tells me something, right?
Yeah, it also tells you, I mean, it's amateur hour there. They got Rob Pelinka. He's probably on the phone with Woj being like, this is what we've offered. Yep. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're going to do. And Ainge is just like, I'll let you know what I want you to know.
There it is, final seconds. If you're asking me if I watch the handshakes, no. If you're asking me if I'm going to sit back and watch the Blues celebrate, fuck no. I just changed the channel. This game is erased from my memory. Awful. 4-1. St. Louis wins Game 7 at the Garden. The drizzling shits. Brutal. Awful.
Did not expect this. 4-1. Holy
no. No. I mean, just man, that first period was the end of this game. They came out a ball of fire. They outplayed St. Louis. They were unbelievable in that first period. And then you have a redirected goal. You have the shitty play by Marchand. I still don't know what Marchand's doing. I have no idea what Marchand is doing. No clue what he's doing. He gets off the ice with 10 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. If Marchand stays on the ice instead of going off the ice like a fucking dink, if he stays on the ice, that goal likely doesn't happen. And how different is this game? 1-0 going into the second period, then 2-0 going into the second. To give up that goal
in
the final 8 seconds.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
We have a good question from Jeff.
What?
Worst Boston sports feeling since 2003, question mark, the Tyree catch in the Super Bowl? Where does this rank?
Yeah, no. That was definitely the worst. The perfect season gone. That you can't even come close to that. This is nowhere near that.
I would agree with that. No, I would agree with that. Perfect season, Tyree helmet catch. When Eli was sacked, blow the whistle.
I think all of the Patriots losses, Giants, Eagles, are all worse than this. This is more like when the Celtics lost to the Lakers. This is probably like that to me.
Oh man.
This is worse than that because at least that team had Kobe. The Blues don't have Kobe.
Yeah. The Bruins just lost to an inferior team on paper.
Worse.
I mean, just brutal. Nick chats in, says Marchand has a broken hand. I don't care. Stay on the ice. He's playing with a broken hand, Nick. He's playing with a broken hand.
Yeah, I don't
Stay on
care.
The ice.
He's playing.
If you got a broken leg. If it's a broken leg, then maybe you have to get off the ice or you're flopping around like a fish. But when you got 10 seconds left in the period, in a seventh game of a Stanley Cup Final, and you get off the ice, you go for a change with 10 seconds left. I blame Adam Jones and Christian Arcand. I blame them because Keefe and I were 4-0. This is the truth. Keefe and I were 4-0 with the Bruins. Our goal differential, I think we were +8. We were 8-0.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden,
a dominant force.
Then all of a sudden, Jones and Christian Arcand start doing this watch-along bullshit on whatever the hell they're doing it on, Twitch or whatever it is. Do you know that Jones and Arcand went 0-3?
I'm not surprised.
The moment that they started doing that, Keith, was the moment that our luck turned. This is on Jones.
Yep. That's fair.
Everything is on Jones.
I blame those guys. This sucks. Anyway.
Brutal way to end it.
Terrible.
Before we say goodbye, this is the last time you and I will be talking.
That's right.
For I don't know how long. Celtics, we're both Celtics guys. What happens this offseason?
Kyrie goes and signs with the Nets. They do not trade for Anthony Davis. They bring back essentially the team that went to the conference finals the year before.
Oh, God.
That's it. With Gordon Hayward, obviously. That's the team.
You know who I want?
I don't want Rozier for the record, but they don't. You know what? Maybe they don't bring him back either because he was such a dickhead. So maybe they don't bring him back. But it's going to be Brown, Smart, Tatum, Hayward, Horford, Baines, Time Lord, the number 14 pick. Some sneaky good free agent, and then that's it.
All right, I'm going to give you two options.
All right.
One option is, here's what I think. I think one of two things will happen. They'll land Davis. Ainge puts Tatum on the table because he's been dying to get Anthony Davis forever. Right. He puts Tatum on the table. He acquiesces. They get Davis. They go out because Kyrie signs with the Nets. I think they go out and they sign Patrick Beverley as part of the MLE. And then they use the rest of the MLE for either JaMychal Green or somebody like Terrence Ross, who was a guy who can be instant offense off the bench, right? So you go into next year with Patrick Beverley, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, Anthony Davis.
Right.
They re-sign Marcus Morris. I think you'll have a bench of Morris and Ross and Smart and Baines. It's a solid 4-man rotation off the bench. You're 9 deep at that point, and you use a pick or two to find somebody who can help you hopefully right away. Maybe a Hachimura kind of guy who can come right in and play for you. Or the other option is they don't get Davis, and I think they could trade for Capella. I think if they don't get Davis,
I like that one.
I can see them make that trade. Clint Capella.
I would do that. I would 100% do that. I like Capella.
I think. Don't you think like Horford and Capella is great tandem down low? Like Horford's that kind of spread the floor shooter.
Yeah, they'd be good.
Run the offense through them, and defensively that would be ridiculous.
And Capella will be good for a while, so I like that.
Yeah, and he's cost controlled.
Right.
He's got that contract, so what he's making. The cap goes up. And now, I mean, the one positive thing about Kyrie is now his money's going to be off the books. Yep. So now you know what you're going to have a year from now.
Right.
So that's the positive thing about it. That's the only positive thing that we can bring you tonight. That's it. That's
all we got.
And Keefe, I mean, if you need somebody to fill in at EEI, I'm always a call away.
I'll give you a buzz. I'll give you a holler.
Our last. Third period live. It ends like a wet fart. 4-1, St. Louis wins the Stanley Cup. Who gets the Conn Smythe? I'm sure it's going to be, Charles asks us, I'm sure it's going to be O'Reilly, which makes me puke.
Yeah.
And this whole thing makes me puke, honestly. These cheap shot artists, I hate the idea that the Bruins lost to this inferior, cheap team, but they did. And it blows. It blows goats. Third period live, Blues 4, Bruins 1. That's it. You can go listen to people bitch on the air now. I'm sure it's all going to be hate tomorrow. Enjoy that.
Yep.
Keefe, it's been fun. Hopefully we'll catch up down the road, my man. Good Celtics talk, too.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Third period live, Fancred. Tough one. Terrible way to end it. See you later, guys.